what is co-parenting? And I'll leave the experts to just give us.
Well, we have to situate it within the context of divorce and separation.
Okay.
So when a couple, seemingly formerly married couple, are no longer together and they need to raise their children properly. Now, I use the word properly subjectively because the reason you have to co-parent is because there is a parenting vision in the first place. So while you were together, there was something you wanted to achieve, but now you're no longer together and you still want to achieve that thing in the interest of your children. So co-parenting is, long and short, is in the interest of the children. So that's an assumption. So if we assume that you really want to do this thing in the interest of the kids, then there won't be a problem. So you remind yourself, this is about the kids, this is about the kids, this is about the kids. But what we've seen over time is that ego, selfish interests, vendetta, I want to show you Pepe, and all of those things starts to creep in. And then the first casualty, obviously, will be the kids, especially in the choice of what school to send the children to. The woman will say, I want to send the children
closer to my place.
You get it?
Or maybe more expensive or more classy.
More classy, those things. And the man will say, I can't afford this thing. I can't afford it. Or sometimes the man will say, I want the child in a better school. And the woman said, but I don't have the money. Let me pay. No, so you go and tell the whole world that you are doing. So these things start to creep in. And there are also cases where while they were having it good with co-parenting, one of his spouses, especially the woman, was still single. And next thing, she gets married. Bros shows up and says, come on, I don't trust your husband.
Your partner.
So this is what I think. And they start to...
It's another dynamic.
That's another dynamic, and it affects, obviously, the children.
So in a case, like example you just gave right now, where one of the parties has to get married to somebody else, so the person who's getting married now, should they change his style to conform to their new partner as regards this particular child they're co-parenting with, or should it still be based on the agreement between them and the father or the mother of that child?
I think there are trust issues here. This is about trust now.
Okay.
So basically, if the man is feeling uncomfortable, well, that's his problem. But you can't minimize that problem. If it's a concern for him that, look, this guy you're about to get married to, I've known him over the years, and he can't be a responsible father or father figure to my children. Please, can we do this? Can we do that? And sometimes they can even go to court. And the guy would tell you, I've known this guy, he's an ex-con, he's a club owner, he's never available, he's a pilot, he's all those stories, and it becomes another messy issue. But you see, I said something. What is in the overall interest of the children? If you consider the children as the topmost priority here, there would be compromises. Now we're not talking about the solutions yet, but when these issues pop up, like I said, the first casualty will be the children. And if you ask yourself, okay, I love my children so much, but my ex is about to marry this dude that I really don't like. So how do we work around it? You don't have control over your ex anymore.
You don't.
So compromise will come in. So what's my compromise? Maybe can I go to court and request for more time? You get it?
Okay.
So let me have more access to these children. It's about you can't control this woman anymore. I'm sorry, it's over. You two, you are married. What makes you think the lady
is comfortable with your own spouse?
Exactly.
Right.
So
and it's always very dicey because it might begin even when you have genuine concerns because of the lack of understanding, irreconcilable differences. Some people might want to look at it as you have a vendetta. It's unfounded, and whatever reasons you're given, whether it's valid, it's maybe a cover for your real intentions.
Oftentimes, there's this desire to get even. Don't forget, in a relationship where the woman has been at the receiving end, now they've separated. There's control, my brother. The children gives her control, especially when the man needs these children for validation. Don't also forget, there are people, I'm sorry, Chimete, but that's the truth. There are a lot of guys who really want these children just for validation.
Right.
Not to really provide that father, that fatherly
Play
love.
that father role.
Yes.
Okay.
I just
people know.
people need to know that me, I don't bump again now.
Fathers,
Yes.
children.
And worse, when his new relationship, they don't have,
Probably
there's no
yeah.
child. The guy will fight tooth and nail. But you see, people who are watching on the sideline will think, "Oh, fantastic dad." No. If the woman is aware of this and she's vindictive, she's going to rub it in.
So I'm all about the children here because
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
you said the whole purpose of co-parenting and having scheduling time and all of that is to ensure that the best interest of the children are top
Yes.
tier. How do you communicate co-parenting to children? Because it's alien.
Good.
They're used to mommy and daddy in the same house. Now they're in different houses, with maybe new people, mixed
there's
family
a
and
new
everything.
daddy.
How do you communicate this switch to the children?
And before you jump in, I just want to add a part B to that question. So, and when you're done with it, we can look at the best practices for people who find themselves in this co-parenting
Right.
situation.
Can I start with the best practice
Okay.
and then tidy up?
All right.
The best practice is for you to separate decently. Decently. Decently.
Okay.
Jeff Bezos had a nice separation.
Wow.
That cost him a lot of money.
Yes, but
Can it be used as a yardstick?
no, baby, that's the way it should be.
Okay.
Separate decently. But
Oh, these
It's
things are
easier
not. These
said-
things are not planned.
of course, I'm coming.
These are not planned.
Hold
So
on,
he's
Chiwede.
saying.
I'm coming.
You can't control it sometimes.
You asked best practice.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
yes.
telling you, even though that practice go easy, Rara. Then you also have this one. It's also not easy. If you had a vision for your child before the separation, can we resurrect that vision? Can it be the goal? Can it be the real deal? For instance, you both had this idea of raising a superstar, nanotechnologies, bio
Tech guru, tech
exactly,
founder.
and what a professor who would change the world. Now you just concluded a very feisty and frosty divorce process. Can we still go back? So, okay, Shade, yeah, I know we can't come back, we're done, but how can we achieve the things we wanted to achieve? That's best practice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we muster the maturity to go through this? Oftentimes the answer is no. So, but if we are genuine, if our intentions are real and altruistic,
And if we prioritize the kids.
yes, you get a third party to help you facilitate all of this. Especially knowing that you need to set boundaries in a bit to achieve this. You need to set boundaries.
Okay.
So there are arbiters, there are people, there are counselors who can help you navigate through this, and you will have a fantastic thing. Now, let me say this. Oftentimes, when couples go through this hair pulling thing about custody and co-parenting, they forget one thing. They forget that they are going to marry again, and you are becoming toxic. So what you're doing is not just something, it's not just an activity, it's not just you're putting up an attitude, you are becoming someone else, and that person will follow you into your next relationship. So by the time you remarry, you have become another person,
Yeah.
bitter,
A problematic
crank,
individual.
I'm telling you. So how do you start to remake yourself from someone who's gone through this bickering, this toxic battering of emotions and all of that, and now a man is in your life, a woman is in your life, there'll be carryover.
And it's worse, especially when all these things are in the full glare of the
Of
public.
the children. So now to your final, which is how do you explain to the children that we're getting? Of course, children are not foolish. They know mommy and daddy. In fact, when the problem started before the physical separation, they are aware. They know. So finally, we've parted ways. What a smart woman would do, because they always have custody, is to let the children know, game over. However,
No matter their age.
yes,
No matter the age.
yes,
Okay.
like they know. That is not always. That is never here now. We've parted ways. So sit them down and explain to them, this is what it is. Your daddy and I are no longer together. However, whenever daddy wants to see you, he can always come to see you.
Okay.
Mommy, but why is daddy not coming this night? Oh, daddy will come every weekend. So, and I qualified it, a smart woman. You must ensure that the child is not a victim of whatever you guys have gone through. No quarrels, no fighting. Let the man have his access. And then the issue of co-parenting, like I said, I can't overemphasize this. If both of you were doing well by way of having a vision for these kids before the separation, it shouldn't suffer after the divorce.
All right then. Thank you so much for enlightening us and just sharing best practices for co-parenting. If people want to reach out to you, they might probably know someone, or they're also experiencing issues like this. How can they just slide?
Oh,
in
very
with your
simple.
DM?
I'm on Instagram at Uncle Kingsley. If you send me a message, we can talk about this.
All right.
Okay, we just might have a second part of this conversation next week
Yeah.
on
Oh, great.
Wednesday.
I think there's so many perspectives to
Yeah.
look at.
So actually,
Especially from the male side, because we're always at the receiving end.
Yes, the way some women, like as you qualified it, smart women will make the kids understand, make them still respect daddy, make them know
Yeah.
that daddy is still in their life and is still their daddy and all of that, But most times it seems like when there's a breakdown, and because women have custody all the time, they
Control.
want to control. So most times they want to do some things to spite the husband,
Weaponize.
to weaponize it. Not to say there are not some men who do this, but we've seen this whole custody issue favors the women more than the men,
Yeah.
and most times the men are at the receiving end.